Always a pleasure to hang out with Adam Schefter on Wednesday here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Adam, we were just talking about Xavier McKinney and how now that he's a free agent, a lot of Packers are salivating, licking their lips, hoping that they make that connection. What is the likelihood that the Packers actually do go out and make a splash? And do you think that Xavier McKinney could be a Packer going forward?
Well, Xavier McKinney is a guy who's 24 years old. And when you get to be 24 years old and hit free agency at a young age without any tags, you are in a position to get paid a handsome deal. Now, I don't know whether Green Bay is going to want to dole out what it would take to bring in a player of his caliber, because the Giants deliberated long and hard yesterday about whether or not to put a tag on him. Ultimately, in the end, they decided not to put a tag on him. I think that they're still hoping to try to bring him back to New York. We'll see whether they can get that done. But, the fact of the matter is with all these players and all these deals, they're almost always going to follow the money. And the team that comes the strongest makes you feel the most appreciated. The team that makes you feel the most appreciated usually is offering the most money. And if that happens to be Green Bay, I'm sure that Green Bay would be in the thick of it. And I certainly know New York will be interested in bringing him back.
Adam, are the Giants going to dump Daniel Jones?
I don't believe that. I think that they're planning on having him back. I mean, if you're talking this season, no. Long term, well, that's still to be determined, right? He's got to go play well again to see if he can make it happen. But right now, there has been chatter about them having mixed feelings on him, whether they would do something in the draft. Here's what I always loved about the draft. They can say whatever they want. Daniel's our quarterback. We still believe in it. And then if they go and trade up for a quarterback on draft day, well, they just told you what they think. So, we'll find out here exactly what they think. Do they make a play in free agency for quarterback? I don't think so. Do they trade? I don't think so. Could they be in play for a quarterback at 6 in the draft or move up? Possible. We'll see. But we're going to find out here in the next 6 or so weeks. 50 days, I guess. 50 days, because the NFL draft is 50 days from today. Exactly how they feel about Daniel Jones.
Adam, with free agency opening in a week here, do you think teams are actually going to be spending the money that they just got in the biggest bump in salary cap history, or are they going to hold on to some of that and pay some past charges since so many teams have been over the cap and maybe try to get cap healthy?
Well, I think it's a little bit of everything, right? If you knew that your weekly allowance was $100 and all of a sudden somebody gave you $125, like how would you do that? Everybody would use the extra $25 differently. Some will use it on an extension. Some might use it to cover past expenses. Some might use it to help, pay off debt that you've incurred, i.e., bills that go over the cap. Everybody's going to be different. So I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all here. But I can tell you that all the teams are happy to have that space, and now they get to see how they use it.
What's going to happen with Saquon Barkley? Ever since the Packers were rumored to be kicking the tires on Jonathan Taylor last season, I guess it was headed into last season, maybe last season, Packers fans have been wondering how they're going to build up that position. Where do you think Saquon Barkley ends up?
Not in New York would be my guess, because I think the two sides have been through so much, and I think that if New York saw the value in him, they would have just tagged him at $12 million. Yes, it's more than a running back would get, but you say we're locking in our guy, keeping him in place, owner loves him, let's make sure he doesn't get anywhere. And I think when you don't put the tag on him and you allow him to go talk to, let's just say, Philadelphia, Dallas, Chicago, maybe Green Bay, who knows? You're inviting one of these teams to make an offer. What's interesting here, Jen, about the running backs is we've never, ever had a running back free agent class this good, this deep. At a time where the draft is considered to be deep in talent as well. And so I think a couple of these running backs will get decent money, but I don't know that any running back's going to get exactly what he wants. And certainly with the number of them out there, it's not great for running backs themselves, but it's great for teams who are in the running back market. So if Green Bay decides, okay, Wilson's not a good enough backup, we want another running back to complement Aaron Jones, this would be a great year to go get one of those guys. Or you could just go draft one. Because inevitably, I believe there'll be some running backs sitting out there right around the time of the draft that will wind up signing one-year deals with a low number, and they'll try to have a good year, put themselves in a good situation so they can hit the market again next year when they'll have a chance, they hope, to make more money. This, to me, will not be the year for a running back to cash in and land the type of deal that he wants. Now, if somebody does it, God bless them. more power to them. I hope they can. It's just that when you have so many running backs, and it's all about supply and demand, and the supply of running backs is long, and the demand is not, it's going to be tough for everybody to get the money they want.
All right, Adam, a couple questions here.
Yeah.
I'm hearing rumblings that the league wants to go to 18 games.
Yep.
Now, the next CBA is until 2030. Do they have to wait for that, or can there be an amendment? And with that, what are the players? I mean, that's a pretty big want. What are the players going to want in return for that extra game?
Well, I would hope and think that they're going to want money, and more than they've gotten in the past. And no, to the best of my knowledge, Chewy, they cannot do anything until the CBA is up in 2030. So it is what it is right now. There is the 17th game that was negotiated into the last CBA. And the next time to do that would be at the next CBA. We're 2030, you said? So
Yeah.
6 years away.
6 years away?
Yeah, they'll have to start lobbying for that in the next 2-3 years.
Would it be fair, Adam, would it be fair to ask for grass fields across the board?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's what I would not want to see the players do. Like in the last, or one of the last, not this past CBA, but the one before that, a big thing to them was getting more time off.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. Do you think that costs the owners anything? Like, do you think that they care about giving up some time off in the end? Like, they held on to that, like this huge bargaining chip, and I think it's great that the players wanted and got that. That's your union fighting for you, as it should. But to not have that fully translate economically and financially, negotiations ultimately about money, not time off, not grass fields. The grass fields should be put in because it's the right thing to do, period. Like, that shouldn't even have to be negotiated. That should just be a given.
I agree. The union sucks.
Adam's like, whoa.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. But again, the grass field.
What are you trying to do to our guy, Chew?
I'm just, I don't know.
Grass field should just be put in, period. Like, that's how it should be, because that's the right thing to do. Maybe I'm living in a naive world, I guess. I probably am.
Adam, one of the other rumblings kind of coming out of the combine in terms of play on the field, kickoff rule, that it seems like the NFL was not happy with some of the changes they've made because they were hoping that they would make kickoff safer. Well, they have, because they've made the kickoff basically non-existent with the lack of returns. Special teams coordinators now getting together to try to come up with a rule to propose because we have owner meetings coming up at the end of the month. Do you ultimately think there's going to be a change in the kickoff rule?
Yeah, I do. In fact, I played phone tag with somebody that was involved in that, and then the combine started happening and things in life and whatnot. And so all I could tell you is, yes, I believe that they're going to be looking to amend the kickoff and to make it more a part of the game while they try to make it safer, if that's even possible to do, because it's an inherently unsafe play. But I do know that they are reviewing options. I do know they're going to be addressing it, and I do think that there will be changes for the 2024 season, though I can't tell you what they are because, again, I played phone tag with a guy.
Adam, why are so many guys skipping combine workouts? At some point, I thought you really needed to go out there and show your merit or show your worth. And it seems like that has kind of started to fade. Is it because guys are so convinced that what they have on film is enough to win these guys over? Do they want the friendly clock at their own pro days? What are you hearing in your circles about why so many guys are choosing to skip these workouts?
Well, what's interesting to me is that guys have always skipped workouts. That's not unusual. This year, we had guys that didn't even measure, like Jaden Daniels and Malik. Like, I've never heard that. That I've never heard. Like, what you're hiding that? Like, Kyler Murray wouldn't have gotten his height taken when he was going through, or like that. That's crazy to me. And even like Caleb Williams, declined to take the physical. Now the combine ultimately, the reason it was held in Indy, the reason it was first started, it was more for the medicals than it was for the workouts, so that they could get all the medicals on these young men, and every team could have access to it. And rather than Chewy flying to 32 different cities to do 32 different physicals, with 32 different thumbs in places he doesn't want it, right? Then it's just easier to do it one time, right? And Caleb Williams declined to do that this year, because I'm sure he thinks, well, I'm going to the Bears. I only have to do one. I'll do it when I go visit with them. But what if they decide, you know what, we're getting a huge package. What if a team decides it wants to trade up? Like now they got to go get a physical. Like, you're there, just do the physical. Like, I don't get that. What are we hiding on the measurements? Like Jaden Daniels, I mean, he's got nothing to hide on his height or weight. Like, what is that about? I don't get that. So I got no problem with the guy not working out. He wants to wait for his pro day. He wants to do it on his own home field. That's gone on through time. But this was the first time I ever heard guys saying, yeah, I'm not going to be measured and weighed. I'm not doing that. I'm not taking any medical exams. Like that I hadn't heard before.
Adam, any updates on Kirk Cousins or Justin Fields?
The Bears traded Justin Fields last night. You didn't hear?
What? It's not on the internet. No.
No? Well, then right here, I'm joking.
Jeez Louise.
I would have believed you. You're Adam Schefter.
I was wondering how long Schefter could keep it going. I was wondering how
You
long.
did a pretty good job.
And caught Jen, too.
I looked over to see if he was smirking at all on the video feed.
In this day and age, there's no way that would happen. Like the second it happens, there's alerts everywhere.
Yeah, very good point.
Right?
Schefter,
I didn't answer the question, though. I didn't answer the question there, Jen. Justin Fields, I still think they'll look to move him. I just don't think that the market has moved as quickly as everybody thought and hoped it would. Kirk Cousins, look, it's March 6th, is it? He hasn't re-signed with Minnesota yet. Free agency basically starts Monday. So he's going to free agency, it looks like, unless they land a deal here in the 11th hour, 24th hour. What hour would it be if they land the deal here? They're coming up before. Is it the 11th hour, the 12th hour, the 24th hour, whatever hour it is?
23rd hour, yeah.
23rd hour.
It's sweet that you think we would be an expert in anything.
We don't do math on this show.
Yeah, numbers. Once numbers get involved, we back away from the game.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm asking this group that actually bought my Justin Fields trade report about what hour
We didn't bought it. We just sort of.
You thought about renting it.
Exactly. We did think about renting it.
Shefty, has your wife ever taken away your Amazon privileges? Because our big guy had his privileges revoked earlier this week.
What did he do? What he ordered? He went.
I don't look at prices of things. I just don't. I don't know. That's just like I said, numbers. I don't know. You said 23.11. I'm out.
I don't think I've ever had my Amazon privileges. We got mad at my daughter. We got mad at her. She's done some things like that.
So she's had her privileges revoked. So what you're telling me is Chewy's basically a child.
You're just like his 15-year-old daughter. Is pretty much what I'm taking away from this.
Yeah, I think that there must be some connection we can draw there between Chewy and my ninth grader.
Last thing I have for you this morning, Shefty, did you send me some toothbrushes? Somebody sent me 100 toothbrushes after we talked about last week that I forgot to brush my teeth before the show. They didn't put a name on it. So I was just wondering if maybe you were the generous donor of 100 pre-pasted disposable toothbrushes, by the way.
You know what? I'm really sorry that I didn't think of that, but I'll certainly be happy to take the credit for sending them to you.
I'm just going to keep asking everyone if I meet somebody, hey, did you send me toothbrushes? Hey, did you send me toothbrushes? Hey, did you send me toothbrushes? Adam, we appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. Always a pleasure. Things are starting to heat up, and we will soon know within the next few weeks. You said 50 days until the NFL draft, how the Packers roster will be constructed. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you again soon.